everybody. It's She Woke Up XJW Rosie here just to say hi to you. Hey, so anyways, we hadn't talked in a couple of weeks, so I thought I would just get on here and chit chat with you about some of our XJW stuff. And, I was on live previously on TikTok, and I just had wanted to tell everybody my daughter had a talk. We had I raised her as a JW. We had stuff that happened. I mentioned that in my other videos, and I said, hey, let's tell me, because she's went through a lot. She's had a lot of trauma, a lot of childhood trauma. I had trauma from the XJW stuff. And I'm reaching out to you. Sorry for the noise. Reaching out to you because, with the trauma she had, she said, well, I wanted to go after the JWs, the elders, and the Kingdom Hall for not telling me that I cannot tell anybody about the abuse. And I was thinking, well, there should be no statute of limitations on that. And it happened in California, so you guys need to kind of give me advice, my XJW friends, and I really want to encourage her to go after them. But the thing is some of the elders in that congregation that we were in have passed away, and the abuser at the time was a Bible student. He had been studying for quite a few years. And interesting is that when the abuse happened to her, the elders, had said, well, you can't say anything. It'll bring reproach on God's name. And that really was very painful for her. So anyways, I just wanted to talk to you about that, all of you, my audience, and see what you think, because I think she could file a civil suit of some sort against him and against the congregation. Who knows where the paperwork is that the elders take in meetings? Who knows where that has went, because that was back in the 80s. So I'm thinking, if you all have advice, because I know some of you will get on here after I've recorded this and say hi to me and stuff. So so what do you think? Can a young child over the years sue later as an adult? And I know they can, because we're seeing it in many, many cases throughout the United States and in other countries. So the thing is, I wanted to say one more time, is that the abuser kind of later got baptized. Okay, the court said that individual could not have any contact with her. He could not be around children at all. So he continued to go to the Kingdom Hall where there's family and children. He later, within a year, moved a woman in from the Kingdom Hall and her 2 children. Annie got baptized. Annie had another sister living with him. So he had 2 sisters, an old one, a younger one, and her 2 kids. After my kids moved out of state. So that abuser broke all of the violations of what the judge said. And a narcissist is like that. They think they walk on water like Jesus did. They just totally can do no wrong. To just say how bad or how he thought of himself, I'll give you an example. The judge, when we went to court, he had gotten arrested for what he did to my daughter. And the judge told him that he had to serve about a year, weekends for a year in jail, and he had to report at such and such date He had to pay restitution to my daughter, which he never did. Um, well, we showed up in court. Um, Gosh, I can't even remember. I think it was, uh, I don't even remember when it was, but we had to show back up in court. And the judge was really an ass. That's all I have to say. He was just an ass because he threatened me. He said, well, you should have just left sooner and you shouldn't have stayed. And you should be in jail too, maybe. So he was very misogynistic and didn't consider the abuse of my daughter, her feelings, my feelings. He had no background or knowledge of what it's like to be in an abusive situation. You're trying to get out, and the narcissist is like controlling you constantly and manipulating you. So back in that time, that's what was going on. So when he did show up in court, I was standing right there, and he was already supposed to be serving time in jail. Um, and the judge said, because he had an attorney, and the judge said, why have you not showed up in jail on the weekend? You think you're not supposed to, or what? So the judge was very mad at him. He said, you will show up in jail, or I'll arrest you today. You better show up next weekend. So as far as I know, he did his weekends. He was now a felon for child abuse. And it's just a freaking pisses me off, pisses my daughter off, that he had the audacity to still, or the elders still let him get baptized. And it's just sickening. Here this pedophile, abuser, physical abuser, abused me physically, my kid, and then the elders protect him. Oh, well, you repent, you can go and get baptized and become one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Ah, so that's the kind of people you want in there, huh? Wow, isn't that just special? So anyways, I am just like, it's such bullshit. It's such bullshit. So anyways, I'm talking about how I would just want my daughter to be able to file suit in California at a Kingdom Hall where there's elders there who's passed away who dealt with the abuse of the abuser on my daughter. And that's the only thing me and my daughter were talking about. Like, how can I go after them? Is the statute of limitations over? What kind of, what would I do? So I did look up an attorney for her because she mentioned it recently. And it isn't always easy for her to talk about our life in the JW organization. It's hard. And she was so young when everything happened and the abuse that she just, it's hard. But recently she's opened up. And I said to her, because we're talking about my daughter, and I asked her about topics to talk about. And she said, Mom, when you get on your YouTube channel, talk about how the elders told me after my abuse I was not allowed to say anything because it'd bring reproach on God's name. And I was like, oh my God. And I had not heard her. Either the abuse was just so much and we were leaving the state because he stalked us, and all I could think of was getting the frickin' hell out of there, out of the state. She might have told me that, but I didn't remember. So recently she told me. She said, Mom, they told me that you can't say anything. So that tells me, first of all, they tell her not to say anything about the abuse to anybody. That means they aren't going to turn him in. And he was a Bible student. They're not going to turn him into the police, right? Good morning. And so they're just not gonna, they didn't do anything to protect us. I had one elder, he was an older man, and he was saying to me when I went to them, I had them come to my house, and I said, this is what's happening. Here he's studying with you, and he's supposed to be in good standing and considering getting baptized, but he's abusing us. And the elder said to me, looked at me, and he said, "Well, I just can't see that he could do that to you." And I looked at him and I said, "You don't live with him." And he didn't know what to say to me. So when that abuse happened with my daughter, I mean, I was, being in a narcissistic relationship is horrible. And the characteristics they have. Did you guys ever see that movie that came out with, okay, it was called Sleeping with the Enemy? Uh, if you remember the actress that was in it. Anyways, watch that movie. Scared the shit out of me, and it woke me up to want to get out of that relationship, because I was like, I am living it. I am so friggin' living it, and I felt bad for my kids. Hello. Hi, everybody. So anyways, my daughter said, bring up this topic, Mom, on your YouTube channel about what the elder said to me. So that's the thing. She would like to sue them. And I think really it could happen because so many states have opened up the child abuse statute of limitations. If you're abused as a child, you can sue as an adult and go after them. And the only thing, my question is, you guys tell me what you think, is because he was an unbaptized publisher and later got baptized after we separated and divorced, like, would that still be possible? I kind of am not sure, and I would support her 100%. Excuse me, to go after her. I really would. I mean, after the JW organization, just go after them, because they deserve it. They deserve to be sued. She never got any compensation from his ass for what he did to her. And the last I heard some years ago, he was still baptized. I don't know if he goes to the Kingdom Hall. I don't know any of that. But, she deserves something from his ass, for what he put us through. And so, sorry, didn't mean to get the sun in me. So I'm sitting outside. It's nice right now. It's just really nice. And what I did is, I've been encouraged by somebody very dear to me to, they're exercising. So I did not know where I just moved to. There's a high school track down the road, and it is so nice. It's like a block away. So I went and walked 5 laps. I'm so proud of myself, because I'm like, I need to lose some weight. So anyways, yeah, so that was good this morning. I feel good. I'm happy, and just, but talking about the topics of that is not easy, and I really feel for so many. If you're a Bible student with Jehovah's Witnesses, if you're an unbaptized publisher and you find my channel, just watch more XJW information, because we are opening up people's eyes to the hidden abuse. And just like with the Catholicism in the past, there was a lot of hidden abuse. And they have, I will say, have been addressing it. They have been. Too bad they had to go through all these lawsuits against their priests. But it's just that the awareness, people are getting out there and they're like, no, this does not happen to children. None of this shit should happen to anybody. And people are going after it to get it to stop. And that's what we have to do. We have to be activists in this situation for our kids, for anybody being abused, any violence, because there's no freaking reason for it. There's no reason for it. And I've always had a spiritual side to me. I can never say I don't. Some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses just go right into atheism. I haven't done that. There's at times where I see beautiful creation. I see giving birth to children. Those are beautiful things. I didn't give birth to a dog. I gave birth to 2 children that look like me. So I don't believe in certain aspects of some things that people say. So, or teach in schools and stuff. So, I do believe that there is a higher power of some sort, and that higher power does have love. And I don't think, and I just, I get a little like, when you're an ex Jehovah's Witness, and the things you learned as a Jehovah's Witness was that God was love. But then later it comes out they're hiding all those pedophiles. And that's not a God of love. And they claim, the governing body claims, that they get God's Holy Spirit to run this organization throughout the world, so they have to have God's Spirit. And I'm like, really? How do you have God's Spirit if your organization is dirty? It's dirty. And it's hiding sexual things of children. It's dirty, dirty, dirty. So there is no way you can have God's blessing, because blessing from God is when you're doing things good for others. So I am just like, there's no way. I just don't see it. So, but I pray for others. I think of others. I always want good for other people. This is my journey. I have my healing journey. Oh, you guys, I am going to be on the Healing Podcast Sunday. I'll put it in the link, or I'll do a short and add it to it. And yeah, I'm going to have an interview about my journey and my healing process. So, or the truth, my truth. So my truth is, I left Jehovah's Witnesses after 32 years and shut the door and said, that's it. I can't go on with such abuse, such underhanded things that make no sense biblically, with families. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And so I'm really cautious. Like, I was in California for a while, and I signed up and went, well, not signed up, but I joined a LGBTQ open awareness church. It was really open. The woman's a pastor, a lot of sweet people in there, older couples, families. We'd have coffee, do things together, just very, very loving. And the awareness of our community was great. And I think that's important. Some people think LGBTQ is bad, it's not Christian or whatever, but I have met so many who love God. They want to continue to love God. That's how they were raised. They just don't all turn their backs. It's people turning their back on them as human beings and not loving them. And that has made it hard for them. So, but they still love. They love people. They love God. There's so many things deep inside of them, and they want that community. They want that trust and understanding, and they shouldn't be rejected. Nobody should be rejected, because the Jehovah's Witnesses, that's how they are. You are just a total sinner. Well, so are you guys. You are hiding those pedophiles in your organization. Yeah, you might say you discipline them. You disfellowship somebody or someone, but you still allow them to come back and be around children. You still allow it, because when they go to prison for abusing a child, and they get out and they come to you elders and they're telling you, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, or I'm repenting, you still have stipulations by the court and by the laws of the land to not be around children. And you know what? Those elders in all of those kingdom halls allow people to come back to them in good standing, go out in the ministry with carloads of families with children. So that's a bunch of crap. They are not protecting our kids. They're not protecting them. So, and it's upsetting. And my daughter feels the same way. She's like, it's such a cult, Mom. She says, Mom, I seen it when I was 15. And I'm like, where was my head? I was trying so hard to please God and everything, and all this other stuff was hiding, right there in plain sight. But when you're in such a misogynist, culture where just what is said has to be male and women don't have a voice, it's easy for all the abuse to go on for women and children. Children don't have a voice either. So it's really sad. Really sad situation. But, I just was thinking it was a great topic my daughter gave me. And I'm really interested on what to do about suing them on behalf of her and what she went through, because it's very good for that victim to get some sort of clarity, healing, anything like that when they've gone through such a terrible thing. And I'd be so happy about that for her. So anyways, I just, reaching out, I need to do more lives. I need to do more videos. There's so many things to talk about when it comes to XJWs and our journey. So anyways, yes, I want to tell you one thing else too while we're on here. I have a friend who is trying to put the protest together for September at Washington, D.C., and then we're going to have an XJW convention in Ohio. So if you've ever watched the 6 Screens, that's where you're going to get the information on YouTube. It's called the 6 Screens. And that gentleman on there, he is on every Saturday. Every Saturday. I love him to death, Rick. And Rick has the 6 Screens, and you can get on there and talk to him. He puts a phone number, which is just amazing. So he's invested many, many years going after Jehovah's Witnesses and protesting. So I'm really proud of him. I mean, that's not easy to do. That's not easy. When you get rejected by people that say they love you. Hi, can you say hi, Ava? Ava, hi. Jayla, Johnny, let me see. Christianity Recap, hello. NTWDE, good morning. When you're outside, your phone kind of like gets this weird shadow thing going on. Anyways, so just to catch up with you, we're just talking about abuse that happens in the Jehovah's Witness organization. And I'm all messy. I don't even have makeup on or nothing because I went for a walk. I need to lose weight. I need to get back in shape. So it'll make me feel better. When you're doing something for yourself, self-love, it's very good. It really is. But I have been talking about, if you just jumped on, talking about my daughter, and she wanted me to mention the topic about what happened to her. And she wants to sue them. And I want to encourage her to sue the witnesses. Do some jumping jacks. Yes, I got a bad knee. I have a left bad knee I was supposed to have surgery on. But I did walk 1.5 miles this morning. I did. I used to be so athletic. I don't know what happened. But anyways, so it's good to do stuff for yourself. As we come out of the organization and we're healing, we have to take time for ourselves. We have to, whether it's yoga, doing those things that you were told you're not allowed to do. I used to be told you couldn't even do yoga because it came from some spiritualistic Hindu practice. And if you did that, you could have the demons attack you. And so I took, I'm kind of rebellious. Even when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I was kind of rebellious. So I went to college and I took a yoga class. And the only thing that kind of freaked me out, I'll be honest, is when the lady stuck this gem on my head. Because here I am all JW'd out and afraid of stuff. And I had to take it off. I was like, oh God, what did she do? Put a spell on me? Oh gosh, what we go through. But I mean, I love yoga now. I watch Tai Chi on Facebook. There's this guy who does Tai Chi, and I've done that, and that's fun. And I don't have to kill myself. I can just stretch and do all these things, and he explains how it'll help your circulation and all this. I'm like, okay, let's get the circulation going. Yeah, so anyways, just doing things, as somebody who wants to leave the JW cult. You got to self-love yourself. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's just a self-determination inside your heart and mind where you look everything over that you've been through or how you've been raised, and you wonder, is this really for me? Is this really for me? And the freedom you get and the joy that you have and can have when you leave is amazing. So I encourage so many of you, if you are having any sort of anxiety in the JW organization, any sort of abuse, any sort of anything, any doubts, go onto these channels on here and share our channels, and get it out there and watch them, because you're going to wake up. You're going to see that the Jehovah's Witness organization is a phony baloney. Yeah, it is. So, anyways, I just glad to be on here. I really am. And, I'd gotten some, have any of you gotten any of those little stickers you can put on your car that say JWs, protect pedophiles and stuff? I wanted to order some, so if you guys know anybody who makes those, I'd like to stick one on my car. It just has to say something against them, and I am just a happy camper. Yes, I will be. But so I'll be on a podcast. I'll post it in my bio or link, or yeah, it'll be in there. So it'll be let's see, they're 2 hours ahead of me, so I should be on there about 12 on the podcast. It's a healing broadcast. So it should be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be a new experience for me, so that'll be nice. I'm hoping to go to the XJW convention in Ohio. That's my goal for next year, is to be able to go. So I hope some of you might think about it and think about reaching out and going. It would be pretty cool. I mean, look at all the Jehovah's Witness conventions we went to. Oh, gosh. I can't even count how many. Let's see, we had at least, you had all the convention days, and then you had assemblies throughout the year. So 2 assemblies at least, or 2. And then you had the 3 or 4 day conventions. Some used to have conventions for a whole week. I'm like, whoa, glad I didn't go to that. But yeah, so I mean, going to something like that would be even more special, because then we're encouraging each other to continue the activism and continue to protect our children, and the shunning, pedophile stuff, the fake biblical information that is not true. They take it out of context, or they just use it where they want to control you. So since it's such a high control group, it's just manipulation. It's like huge narcissism all in one package and spread throughout the world, and it's just terrible. And I'm so glad that I've learned so much with critical thinkers, critical thinking channel, Pete. If you've heard of Pete, I love his show. And Rick's, and when Barbara gets on, Barbara used to be at Bethel at one time back in the 70s, and she is now in activism against the abuse and against the JWs. She's an older lady, and I really appreciate her too. Rick likes to get a lot of guests on, and I appreciate that. And then my other friend is Apostate Babe. She's pretty cool. She gets on usually every Saturday night, California time. Um, so there's quite a few, that really, really bring out a lot of different things, and it's enjoyable. It really is. The latest news, the latest, and I'm just not that techno. So if I could, I would post all this news stuff, but I'd rather sit and talk about life and moving forward out of the cult, and that's really important. So, hey, if any of you seen the exactly how many days have we sat there squandering our lives away? Oh, sitting at the convention. Oh God, my poor kids. I tortured them. I did. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. Wake up. We used to get lunch at conventions. You got these little tickets and you get lunch. But as time went on, we brought our own lunches. We're bringing like big old sandwiches with all these carbs. And after lunch, you're like totally falling asleep. So, yeah, so that makes it kind of, I would just, my poor kids, I'd be like telling them to stay awake. I'd be bringing big things of coffee, just like, if I stayed there writing, I could stay awake. Right. Show that I knew I was listening. Oh my gosh, I had notebooks of notes, right? Oh, all our time. And I sometimes would sit there and go, gosh, I could be out horseback riding today. And it's like Saturday and I'm at the convention. And I'm like, oh, I could, like, well, we could have went to Disneyland. We could have went to the beach. Oh, there could have been so much other things to do in life. And it's so much to enjoy, right? It's just... But now, we're making up for it. Okay, that's it. Happy birthdays. And happy birthday to anybody out there who is having a birthday this month. Yay, and I'm so happy for you. We could have leaving XJW anniversaries. Okay, mine... I got baptized July 4th, 1987. So, I have been out since June 2019. So, yeah, so June 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 5 years for me. So, my anniversary out of the org, 5 years. So how long have you been out? How long have you been out? Now we get to do birthdays, have our Christmases. I love Christmas. Some still don't, maybe not do Christmas, but I don't care. I'm doing it all. Can't wait for this Christmas already. I get all into my decorating and my Halloween stuff. Freedom! Freedom! Oh. Yes. I went on TikTok the other day and I did a live and I talked about voting and national stuff that Jehovah's Witnesses cannot do. And so, yeah, I am blue. So, that's important to me since I'm able to vote, and I really think that that's a wonderful thing that we have. Some countries don't have it, and it's very hard to get certain rights and things like that. So I think it's important myself. We didn't have that in the org. You didn't get to make what? You got to put your hand up when they want to know if you wanted to give the traveling overseer money for his traveling to come visit. Okay, you raise your hand for that. Yes, we will vote to give the traveling overseer money. Or other little things, let's put a new door up, or I don't know. What the heck? I'm surprised they even let the sisters put their hands up. So yeah, I vote. I think I've been voting 3 years now. Yeah, so I enjoy it. And I'm happy to have a voice, to have some sort of voice, because 32 years I did not have a voice. And you know, that's what's sad. So I can have a voice now as a voter. My neighbor, she grows tomatoes, and she showed me her tomatoes. They're lovely. She's got a green thumb. Man, she's got a green thumb. She's got plants everywhere next door here. They're so pretty. So, anyways, I think I will end my live. It's time to end. So we did talk about my daughter and wanting to sue the JW organization for the abuse, and I really want it to happen. I just, you know, that's still in the back of my mind about the elders that died, that knew about it. Um, I can't even remember some of the others that passed away, but I would want to focus on her. Maybe the point, you wish your neighbor would show you her tomato. You're being naughty. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have things to do, and it was good talking to you and streaming, and I will stream again, I promise. Yes, I will. So this is She Woke Up XJW. I will be putting in my bio and all that about the podcast I'm going to be on. And then I'm going to do, I want to put Rick in there and a few others who are doing a lot of get out of the, you know, JW organization. Activism. Okay. Thank you, you guys. It was so good to see you. And thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate it. It's last minute, right? Okay. Take care. Okay, if I know how to shut this off.